Hi, this is your makeup video for the chemical and physical changes lab that we did last week. So if you're watching this video, it's because you were not here to do the lab in person. So what you're going to do is follow my directions through the video, and I'm going to make sure that I go through each of the lab stations still. Rather than you do the labs yourself, you're going to watch me do the labs, and you're going to come up with your observations and whether or not they support a physical or a chemical change happening. So you won't actually get to do the experiments, but you will get to see them and then make your sort of your judgment call based on what you see in the video. So the first station actually is one that you can do on your own. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So find your packet. It should say station number 1. Looks like this. This says story time. So we've done ones like this before in class where you're going to read the story and you are going to record for me in the story at least 3 of the physical changes that happen and 3 of the chemical changes. This is like a little warm up to get you remembering what we talk about with physical and chemical changes. So pause the video and do station number 1 now. Great, so you just did station number 1 on your own, and now we're going to do station number 2. So again, find station number 2. I should have handed you some Play-Doh when I told you to start this video. If not, raise your hand and ask me for some Play-Doh, because you can also do this station on your own. So station number 2 looks like this. It says that you are going to, each person is going to get a container of Play-Doh, so there's only one of you. And you're going to make a different 3D shape with your Play-Doh. So here are the examples down here of the 3D shapes. You're going to just record for me your observations of like what your Play-Doh looks like. Color, texture, size, any of those things, the shape that you end up making it into, any of those physical things that you could record about your Play-Doh, go right here in the second column. After you make your 3D shape, you're going to tell me, is this an example of a physical change or a chemical change? Your evidence is how you know. Like, what proof do you have that this is a physical or a chemical change? So pause the video again, go ahead and get out your Play-Doh and make one of your 3D shapes so that you can complete station number 2 on your own. Okay, now come stations 3 through 6, where I'm going to show you what we did in the station, and you are going to observe what I did and write your observations based off of what you see in the video. So the third station is the syringe and marshmallow station. So this is a syringe. I've taken it apart. We're going to use this, and we're going to put our marshmallow on the inside of this tube. So I stick my marshmallow in there at the bottom. I'm going to put the syringe back together. And I'm going to squish the marshmallow, not completely, but just so that there's no more air in the chamber, and it's kind of like pushing the pillow all the way down there. So I want you to look for 2 different things. I'm going to pause when I pull back the syringe just a little bit, and then I'm going to show you what the marshmallow looks like at the very end when I've pulled the syringe all the way apart. So there's 2 different steps I want you to look for. I'll tell you which ones to look for. Before I do that, quickly jot down what the marshmallow looks like before I do anything to it. So the first column in station number 3 says observations of marshmallow before going into the syringe. So you're going to tell me, what do you observe of this mini marshmallow? You can pause the video and jot that down. Okay, so now we're ready to do the experiment. So the next 2 questions ask you to observe 2 different things. I will tell you when to look for it, okay? So I'm going to plug up the syringe with my thumb so that there's no more air getting in there. So let me see if I can get this as close as possible. Okay. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Watch what happens to my marshmallow. Okay. That's the first thing to observe. And then, oh, my thing got stuck inside. Okay. Hold on, let me get this out. Okay, and this is the second thing I want you to observe. So this is my marshmallow now. after I pulled the syringe all the way back off. It looks like this. Maybe you can see better if I put it in my hand like this. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay, so pause the video and go to station number 3 and explain what happened when I drew it back just a little bit, and then explain to me what it looked like at the very end. Then you're going to tell me, was this a chemical or a physical change, and what evidence do you have? All right, station number 4 is the yeast and hydrogen peroxide station. So the first thing I'm going to do is pour 50 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide into the graduated cylinder, which I'm actually using a beaker. So I'll pour it in here. Hydrogen peroxide is probably in your medicine cabinet because it is an antiseptic, which means it kills germs. Okay. So I have 50 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. The first thing you're asked to observe is what this hydrogen peroxide looks like before I pour anything else in it. So take a second, find station 4, and the very first thing in the second column is to describe to me what this liquid looks like. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to do this because you can't really see, but in this glass, I have yeast, which I've activated with warm water. So yeast is what's in bread to make it rise. It's a little tiny organism. And so in order to like wake the organism up and activate it, you add a little bit of hot water, or warm water. So I'm going to mix the two together, and then I'll hold it up for you so you can see what happens when I put the yeast mixture into the hydrogen peroxide. I don't know if you can hear it. You should definitely be able to see what's forming. And if I add even more yeast, you'll see it starts to rise. Okay, so this, station number 4, go ahead and tell me what it looked like when I put the yeast in the hydrogen peroxide. Is this a chemical or physical change, and what evidence do you have? Pause the video so you can answer your questions. Okay, station number 5 is a make a snowflake station, which your classmates did. So I gave them a plain piece of paper, told them to fold it in half. I'm going to fold mine in quarters. Tell me what you observe about the paper first, like what does it look like, just before I do anything. And then they made snowflakes. I'm going to make a very, very quick one because I'm running out of time on my video. Let's see how ugly this turns out. Oh. Then you open it up, and I got a lot of really weird looking snowflakes. So this was the 5th station. So tell me, was this a chemical or a physical change? And what evidence do you have? How do you know if it was a chemical or a physical change? Stop the video and record your answer. Okay, last station is the iodine, apple, and potato station. So each group got an apple slice, a potato slice, and iodine, which is, again, another antiseptic. You also might have this in the medicine cabinet, but probably less likely than the hydrogen peroxide. This is what they put on people before they have surgery. If you watch like medical shows, they put this brown stuff on and it cleans off their skin before they have surgery. So I have it in a little eyedropper. It's like a brownish color. Okay. And I can't figure out how I'm going to do this one so you guys can see. Okay. And then I'll hold them up. Okay. So I'm going to put a drop or two on each. Oh, pause. First, tell me what the apple looks like before dropping iodine onto it, and tell me what the potato looks like. What is their coloring? What, like how big they are, right? Tell me what they look like before the iodine, because what you're going to do is tell me what they look like after. Okay, so I'm going to do the apple first. So there's the iodine, and I will hold it up so you can see. Okay. So, I wonder if I can do this. Nope. Okay. Oop. So the apple, okay, the apple looks like this. So that brownish color on top of the apple piece. Okay, that's what that one looks like. The potato, however, looks like this. So side by side, you can see they are not the same color. One of them shares the color of the iodine before, sort of the same color it is when it's in the container, and one of them changed colors. So stop the video in a second. This is your last station to write about. You are going to tell me what happened to the apple after the iodine was on it, and what happened to the potato. And then for each one, the apple and the potato, you're going to tell me if there was a chemical or physical change. So both of them might be a chemical change. Both of them might be a physical, or one could have just been a physical change and one could be a chemical change. Up to you. I'm going to show you the potatoes one more time. I mean the potato and the apple. For some side-by-side comparison again. Try to steady it. This is the apple. This is the potato. Apple, potato. Okay. And remember that the color is like the brownish color. That's the natural color of the iodine. Okay. Once you've completed all of the observations and whether or not there's a chemical or physical change, you are ready for me to go over and check it. So you can bring up your lab packet to me so we can discuss some of the stuff. I can get you a grade, and then you may start with the rest of your class on your so what reflection. You need to get this lab done in order to have something to write about. So take your time, go back and watch the video multiple times if that's what you need to do. And make sure that your lab packet is complete. The more you write about it, the easier it'll be to write about it in your so what. Okay? Thanks for watching the video.